Beamy, 28 years old, senior software engineer at a mid-sized logistics company called Stratos Tech. Life is remarkably stable. I make good money, drive a reliable sedan, and have a comfortable apartment in the suburbs. The job is the anchor of my life. It is not flashy work. We do not build video games or social media apps. We build the boring, invisible backend systems that route shipping containers across the ocean. If we do our job right, nobody notices. If we screw up, global supply chains grind to a halt. The stakes are high, but the environment was always low stress. Our team was a well-oiled machine. There were 6 of us in the core backend unit. First, there was me, Arthur, the unofficial second in command. Then there was Elias, the team lead. Elias was 50 years old, had a gray beard, and had survived the dot-com bubble burst. He was the shield that protected us from upper management stupidity. Julian was the front-end guy who dabbled in back-end, the social butterfly of the group. Adrian was the database wizard, a bit chaotic but a genius with SQL queries. Marcus was the department head, a pragmatic boss who only cared about results and uptime. And then there was Liam. Liam is the center of this story. Liam was 23 years old. He was the quietest human being I have ever met. Pale, skinny, always wore hoodies even in summer. He sat in the corner cubicle, put on noise-canceling headphones at 9 in the morning, and took them off at 5 in the evening. He rarely spoke unless it was about code. But my God, the kid was a prodigy. He could visualize the entire system architecture in his head. When we had a critical bug that stumped the rest of us for days, Liam would stare at the screen for 10 minutes, type 3 lines of code, and fix it. He was polite, never rude, just incredibly introverted. He brought his own lunch every day. He avoided happy hours. He just wanted to write code and go home to play video games. We all loved him for it. He carried the heaviest workload without complaining. We protected him from clients because we knew he hated phone calls. It was a perfect ecosystem. Everyone played their role. Productivity was at an all-time high. Management left us alone because our metrics were green across the board. Then the company was acquired by a larger conglomerate. For the first few months, nothing changed. We kept our heads down and hoped they would ignore us. But corporate mergers always bring new policies, and new policies bring new personnel. Enter Felicity. Felicity was the newly appointed human resources business partner for our division. She was transferred from the parent company to align our culture. She was in her early 30s, dressed in sharp blazers, and had a smile that never reached her eyes. From day one, the vibe in the office shifted. The air felt heavier. She started with the usual corporate nonsense: mandatory fun seminars, workshops on synergy and collaborative mindfulness. We tolerated it. We were engineers. We were used to sitting through boring meetings. We would nod, sign the attendance sheet, and go back to our desks. But Felicity was not satisfied with compliance. She wanted transformation. She started walking around the floor, observing us. She would stand behind our chairs and watch us type. She would interrupt deep, focused time to ask how we were feeling about the team dynamic. Elias tried to run interference. He told her that we were on a tight deadline for the Maersk integration. He told her that interruptions cost us money. She smiled that cold smile and took notes in a leather binder. I remember the first time she targeted Liam. It was a Tuesday. Liam was in the zone, headphones on, typing furiously. Felicity walked up to his desk and tapped on his shoulder. Liam jumped. He was startled. He pulled his headphones down and looked at her with wide eyes. She asked him why he had not signed up for the potluck lunch on Friday. Liam blinked and said quietly that he preferred to bring his own food due to dietary restrictions. It was a valid excuse. Liam had a sensitive stomach. Felicity frowned and said that participation was crucial for team bonding. Liam apologized awkwardly and turned back to his screen. He thought the conversation was over. It was not. The next day, a company-wide email went out. It was about the importance of inclusivity in common spaces. It did not name names, but it was clearly directed at people who did not socialize. It talked about how opting out of social events creates a hostile atmosphere for others. We rolled our eyes and deleted the email. Julian joked that Liam was now a rebel leader. Liam just looked anxious. He started hunching his shoulders more. He started coming in earlier so he could leave earlier, trying to avoid Felicity's patrol hours. 2 weeks later, the first incident report happened. Liam was in the break room getting coffee. Felicity was in there with two other employees from marketing. Liam nodded at them, poured his coffee, and left. He did not stop to chat. He did not ask about their weekends, he just wanted caffeine. That afternoon, Liam received a calendar invite. Subject, behavioral check-in. Location, human resources office. Liam looked like he was going to be sick. He messaged me on Slack. "Arthur, what did I do?" I walked over to his desk. "Don't worry," I told him. "She probably just wants to nag you about the potluck again. Just nod and smile." Liam went to the meeting. He was gone for an hour. When he came back, he looked pale, shaking. He sat down and stared at his monitor without typing. I rolled my chair over. "What happened?" I asked quietly. Liam swallowed hard. He said she lectured him on microaggressions. She told him that his refusal to engage in small talk was interpreted as exclusionary behavior. She said that by not saying hello to the women in the break room, he was making them feel unsafe. I was floored. Unsafe, Liam, the guy who apologizes to his chair when he bumps into it. I told him it was bullshit. I told him to ignore it, but Liam was fragile. He took criticism to heart. He started second-guessing every move. He stopped going to the break room entirely. He brought a thermos from home so he wouldn't have to leave his desk. Productivity started to dip. Liam was our engine, and the engine was stalling because he was terrified. Elias noticed. Elias marched into Marcus's office. Marcus, the boss, listened. We could see them through the glass walls. Marcus looked annoyed. He called Felicity in. They argued. Marcus pointed at the revenue charts. Felicity pointed at her binder of policies. Marcus came out looking defeated. He told Elias that his hands were tied. Corporate gave human resources absolute authority over culture and conduct issues. Marcus told us to just play the game until she got bored and moved on, but Felicity did not get bored. She escalated. She decided that the engineering team was a boys' club that needed dismantling. She started sitting in on our technical stand-up meetings. These are 15-minute meetings where we discuss code blockers, highly technical, lots of jargon. Felicity would interrupt to ask us to use softer language. She objected when Adrian used the term killing the child process. It is a standard computer science term. She said it was violent. She made us change it to retiring the sub-process. We wanted to scream, but we complied, anything to get her to leave us alone, but the target was always Liam. She sensed his weakness. She sensed that he was the easiest link to break. She started documenting everything he did. If he was 2 minutes late, documented. If he wore a hoodie with a band logo. Documented as unprofessional attire. If he didn't smile at her in the hallway, documented as attitude problem. Liam was falling apart. He looked like a ghost. Dark circles under his eyes. He stopped eating lunch. One Friday afternoon, the hammer dropped. Liam was called into a meeting with Felicity and a senior VP from corporate via Zoom. Elias tried to join him as a witness. Felicity blocked the door. "This is a private personnel matter, Elias. You are not invited." Elias was furious. He paced outside the door like a caged tiger. 30 minutes later, Liam came out. He was crying, silent tears running down his face. He went to his desk, started packing his bag. We all stood up. "Liam, what is it?" Adrian asked. Liam could barely speak. "They put me on a PIP," he whispered, "a performance improvement plan. In the corporate world, a PIP is a death sentence. It is the paperwork they file before they fire you so they don't get sued." I grabbed the paper from his hand. I read it. My blood boiled. It was insanity. Goals included. Must engage in at least 3 non-work conversations per day, must demonstrate enthusiastic body language during meetings, must attend all voluntary social gatherings, must reduce intimidating silence in the workspace. There was nothing about code. Nothing about bugs fixed, nothing about system uptime. It was a personality assassination. They were firing our best engineer because he was shy. Liam left for the day. He said he didn't know if he could come back. The office was silent. Elias looked at the door where Felicity was sitting, typing on her computer. Adrian kicked a trash can. Julian looked at me. "We can't let them do this, Arthur." I looked at the empty chair where Liam sat. I thought about the years we spent building this system. I thought about the late nights, the pizza, the camaraderie. We were a family, and this woman was destroying us for sport. She wanted to break Liam to show she had power. She wanted to replace our culture with her sterile, plastic ideology. I looked at Elias. "Beer," I said, "the rusty anchor now." We left the office at 3 p.m. We didn't ask for permission, we just walked out. We went to the dive bar down the street. We ordered a pitcher, then another. We read the copy of the pip that I had taken a photo of. The more we read, the angrier we got. Adrian slammed his fist on the table. "If Liam goes, who fixes the database fragmentation issue? Me, I don't have the bandwidth." "Nobody fixes it," Elias said grimly. "The system crashes in 2 months. And they will blame us," Julian added. "They will hire cheaper guys who don't know the legacy code," I said. "It will be a disaster." We sat in silence. We realized the truth. They needed us. We did not need them. The job market for senior engineers was hot. We all had recruiters in our LinkedIn inboxes every week. We stayed because we liked each other. We stayed because the work was interesting, but the work was no longer interesting. It was a minefield. "I'm done," Elias said. He swirled his beer. "I have enough savings. I can consult. I'm not watching that kid get bullied into a breakdown." "I'm with you," Adrian said immediately. "Same," said Julian. They all looked at me. I was the cautious one. The one with the mortgage, but I remembered Liam's face. I remembered how he fixed a bug I created last year and never told anyone it was my fault. He saved my reputation. I owed him. "We do it together," I said. "But we don't just quit, we make it hurt." We spent the next 3 hours planning. We treated it like a software deployment. Step 1, secure the assets. Step 2, documentation. Step 3, execution. We called Liam. He was at home depressed. We put him on speaker. "Liam, listen to me," Elias said. "Do not sign the pip. Do not resign yet. Just come in on Monday." "I can't face her," Liam sobbed. "You won't have to," I said. "We have a plan, trust us." The weekend was tense. I updated my resume. I reached out to a contact at a competitor firm just to test the waters. He replied instantly. "If you guys are looking, we have budget for a whole team." That was the ace up our sleeve. Monday morning arrived. The atmosphere in the office was electric. We all arrived at 8:30 a.m. sharp. We dressed a little nicer than usual. Liam came in looking like a frightened deer. We surrounded him. We formed a physical wall around his cubicle. Felicity arrived at 9 a.m. She saw us standing there. She marched over. "Why aren't you working?" she demanded. "And why are you crowding Liam? He needs to focus on his improvement plan." Elias stepped forward. "We need a meeting, Felicity, with you and Marcus now." Felicity smirked. "I don't have time for unscheduled meetings." "Send me a calendar invite." "It's regarding the resignations," Elias said calmly. Felicity paused. "Whose resignation?" "Everyone's," Elias said. The color drained from her face. Marcus came out of his office. He had heard, "In my office." "Now," Marcus said. We all filed into the big conference room. Marcus, Felicity, and the 5 of us. Liam sat in the middle, flanked by me and Adrian. Marcus looked tired. "Okay," Marcus said. "What is going on?" Elias placed 5 envelopes on the table. "This is our 2 weeks' notice, all of us." Marcus looked at the envelopes. He didn't touch them. He looked at Felicity. Felicity laughed nervously. "This is a bluff," she said. "You aren't going to quit over one disciplinary action. That's union tactics." It's not a tactic, I said. We are at-will employees. We are exercising our will. Why? Marcus asked, though he knew. Because of her, Adrian pointed at Felicity. And because of what you are doing to him, he pointed at Liam. I spoke up. We are a unit, Marcus. You know how this backend works. It's a complex ecosystem. Liam is the architect of the core routing algorithm. If you fire him or force him out with this bullying, the system fails. And we refuse to work in an environment where our top performer is harassed because he is introverted. Felicity slammed her hand on the table. Harassed, I am enforcing company standards. He creates a toxic environment with his refusal to integrate. The only toxic thing here is you, Julian said. We build software, we don't build social clubs. Liam is the best engineer in this building. He delivers. That is all that matters. Felicity turned to Marcus. You can't let them hold the company hostage, accept the resignations. We can hire new people, better people. People with soft skills. Marcus looked at the envelopes. He looked at us. He knew the market. He knew it would take 6 months to find replacements. He knew it would take another 6 months to train them. In that year, the platform would collapse. Clients would leave. The company would lose millions. Marcus was a pragmatist, but he was also a coward who feared corporate. I can't override HR on policy, Marcus stammered. Then you accept our notices, Elias said. We stood up. Wait, Marcus said. We can discuss this. Maybe we can modify the PIP. No, Liam spoke up. It was the loudest he had ever spoken. Everyone froze. I don't want to work here anymore, Liam said. Not with her watching me. He looked at Felicity. I just wanted to code. You made me hate it. Liam put his building pass on the table. I'm effective immediately. He walked out. We looked at each other, solidarity. We all put our passes on the table. Effective immediately, Elias said. Effective immediately, I said. We walked out of the conference room. Felicity was screaming something about breach of contract and unprofessionalism. We didn't care. We walked to our desks, grabbed our personal items, and left. It took 10 minutes. The rest of the office watched in stunned silence. We walked out into the parking lot. The sun was shining. It felt like a weight had been lifted off our chests. Liam was waiting by his car, wiping his eyes. We walked over to him. You guys didn't have to do that, Liam said. Yes, we did, Adrian said. Ride or die, brother. We went back to the Rusty Anchor. At 10 a.m. on a Monday, we toasted to freedom, but the story doesn't end there. By 2 p.m., our phones started blowing up. Marcus was calling. The VP of engineering was calling. Even the CEO called Elias. We let it go to voicemail. We learned later what happened inside the building. Panic, pure, unadulterated panic. Without us, there was nobody to monitor the deployment pipeline. At 4 p.m., an automated script failed. Normally, Liam would catch it in 2 minutes. Nobody caught it. Orders started backing up. Trucks were arriving at ports with no manifest data. Drivers were sitting idle. Money was burning by the second. Marcus tried to fix it, but he hadn't touched the code in 10 years. He made it worse. By Tuesday morning, the company was in crisis mode. They called in consultants. The consultants looked at our architecture and said, "Who built this? We need him." They meant Liam. Meanwhile, we were having breakfast at a diner. Elias had his laptop open. "Okay, boys," he said. "I spoke to my contact. They want us, all of us." "Start date?" I asked. "Next Monday, higher salary, signing bonus. And a guarantee of no HR interference." "What about Liam?" I asked. "They specifically asked for the quiet wizard you guys bragged about." Elias grinned. We cheered. Liam smiled, a real smile. Wednesday, we received a desperate email from Stratos Tech. Subject, please reconsider. They offered us a 20% raise to come back. They offered to transfer Felicity. It was tempting for about 5 seconds. But we knew the trust was gone. You can't fix a broken culture with money. We replied, "No thank you." We started our new jobs the following week. It was a different world. The new company respected engineering culture. Liam was given a private office with a door. Nobody forced him to attend happy hours. Nobody critiqued his silence. He flourished, he wrote the best code of his life. 6 months later, we heard the news about Stratos Tech. They had lost their two biggest clients due to technical instability. Marcus was forced into early retirement, and Felicity, word travels fast in our industry. Apparently, the catastrophic loss of an entire senior engineering team didn't look good on her resume. Corporate did an audit of the incident. They found her notes, they found the PIP. They realized she had driven away the talent that kept the lights on. She was let go for misalignment with business goals. Ironic, she used that phrase on us all the time. Last I heard, she was working in recruitment for a call center, a place with high turnover where nobody cares about culture. Fitting, we still work together, the six of us. We still go to the Rusty Anchor on Fridays. Liam comes with us now. He doesn't say much. He drinks his soda and listens to us banter. But sometimes, when we're laughing about old times, he chimes in with a perfect, dry one-liner that brings the house down. He's safe. He knows we have his back. I learned a valuable lesson that day. A team isn't just people you work with, it's a shield. And when you stand together, even the quietest voice can bring down a giant. Sometimes the best way to win the game is to flip the board and walk away. And sometimes the quiet guy is the one worth fighting for. The end.